I think it's good to have a secret language because then the kids don't understand what they're talking about.
Go
Um,
and hide the sweets right now.
yeah. Back to the Molweni podcast with Mike and Kat. This is a continuation from the first episode. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into the beautiful country where we both grew up in many different ways. We're going to be looking at our childhood, growing up in South Africa. Kat, you
Hello.
want to get us started?
Molo. Molweni. Dumela. Dumelang. Yeah, I'm going to jump right into it. So, Mike, let me start with where I was born, right? I was born in Johannesburg. I'm from Johannesburg South. I grew up in a suburb. It's so Naturina is the area, right? But let me just say Johannesburg South because my
That's easier
family
to
from
understand for
Soweto.
people. Yeah.
Soweto. I grew up in
Oh, yeah, people
Soweto.
know Soweto.
Right, right. And then
So that's
largely we had
maybe just
attended. What's
for other
that?
people out there, like Soweto is a township. It's an abbreviation for South
Southwestern Township
Southwestern Township. Yeah,
townships. Yeah.
yeah.
Right, right. That's right. Soweto, Southwestern Townships. And then once I started school, I mean, from primary school, high school, and so on, that was closer to Johannesburg, to Naturina. It's actually called Afrikaans. I think I mentioned it one time. Say that word. What is that? Southeast or something? Southern East, something like that. But yeah, where I was closer than to where I was gonna attend primary school, close to
Hmm.
go to high school. But yeah, I think those are part of my most of my the years that formed me, or how
Yeah.
I am today as well. But yeah,
And the language,
Soweto, yeah.
the more the most spoken language in Johannesburg is,
Wow. I want to
or
say
is it
Johannesburg
many?
is very mixed.
Okay,
Maybe let me say Zulu, and this is not
okay,
official. This is
okay. Yeah,
what I think, and maybe after this, I can also just add and check the statistics to be correct, right?
okay. Yeah.
But I think Zulu. Later, I want to share a very nice story of when I was visiting South Africa, right? Noticing the diverse diversity with the languages and how people interact with each other with multi languages. I speak in Zulu, one responds in Zulu, and so on. Uh,
Mm.
we can understand each other, Afrikaans, Xhosa, and so on, right?
Mm.
But I come from that area where, yeah, I think Zulu, apart from English, right? English,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we hear that, we speak that everywhere. I would say Zulu.
Okay.
Two, yes, but I think everybody understands Zulu, and then whoever you don't understand, everyone just defaults to their mother tongue, and then you understand each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
from there. But yeah, yeah. Uh,
And your parents, are they both from this, can I say tribe, like the Zulu tribe?
so my parents, I have another story about the whole tribe thing since I've been here. Saving that for later. So my mother is Xhosa and my father is Sutu. So I'm a
Oh,
mixed.
interesting.
I'm a Michelin. I'm mixed. Yeah, I'm mixed. So yeah, in terms of tribe, maybe we don't use that term now, but yes, I
Yeah.
understand what you mean. Like she's Xhosa, he's Sutu, and even when we speak to each other, we mix a lot. And
Mm.
Zulu,
Are the
sometimes
languages similar?
they're similar. Zulu
Because
and
I,
Xhosa are similar, yeah,
yeah.
but they are not the same, yeah, culture. And I think
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
just like Bayerisch and Fränkish, um, there's that thing where if you say to a Xhosa person, you're Zulu, or you're just like the Zulu people, or you say that to us other way around.
Icon, my
You too
boo.
as well. I think each tribe, I think, where we come from, everyone is proud of where they come from. It's not just
Yeah.
the language, but don't be telling someone who is Venda that they are Xhosa, or someone
Yeah.
who's Afrikaans that, you speak Afrikaans. Ah, okay, just like the Dutch. Or you can also
Yeah,
say
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Namibia or something like that. No, no, no. But yeah, I do describe myself as a mixed person. But when you're in Johannesburg, I find that you almost don't notice that as much as when you're outside. And maybe it's the same in other parts of South Africa, in other provinces, because in Cape Town, while I was living in Cape Town, it felt and seemed different when speaking to other people,
Hmm.
right? Um, they didn't seem to be so mixed or diverse, which is also okay. It's so
Hmm.
nice to see and notice the differences. In Johannesburg, um, we almost switch almost every sentence between Zulu, Sotho, English, Xhosa, Afrikaans. It's kind of
Wow.
interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Gosh, I have this image that those languages like form a new language.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just gets all mixed up.
Right,
Um,
right.
we were quite similar in age, and one thing I know,
Yeah,
Kat, is that you were born in apartheid.
yeah.
And I think for people out there, if you're young,
Mm,
um, you might not know what apartheid is. Apartheid was a regime that was created by um, uh, a government, predominantly a white Afrikaans-speaking government, to keep white people and black people, or races, keep races separate from one another.
mhm.
Um, and this is always a very emotional topic, and I'm happy that we started with you as well to understand your upbringing, because it touches me quite deeply,
Mhm.
what people went through. I'll
Yeah,
get to
and
my
where we coming
upbringing
from?
soon.
Yeah.
How was it for you to be um, growing up in? How old were you when Nelson Mandela became president, for example?
I think I was 4 or 5. It was 1994, right? Yeah,
Mm.
I think I was 4 or 5.
Yeah. So do you remember that? Do you have memories? Were there celebrations? Was
Honestly, my
there?
earliest memory, I think, was probably watching the victory, the Rugby World Cup final.
Oh,
Anything
wow.
before that, like these events, these milestones, I don't
I
remember
want to
apart
I
from
want to touch
hearing
on
and
that.
knowing. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to touch on that World Cup final where
yeah,
Francois Pienaar
yeah.
received the trophy from our
Nelson
president
Mandela,
Nelson Mandela at the time. Oh, what a beautiful
iconic
moment.
moment, eh?
Yeah, of course. Unifying moment as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were a little bit young. I guess there's maybe a little similarity there. Is I can't also remember a lot of my childhood. Um,
Around the
I,
same era, but probably like you've experienced more. You've of course experienced more, a little further more than me, a little more than me.
yeah, so maybe I can touch on that a little bit because that 1995 World Cup winning moment was it felt so different
Hmm.
to a year prior when there was all these celebrations and a lot of nervousness
Yeah.
within the white communities.
Okay.
So 1994, I
Yeah.
was 10 turning 11, and I was
Okay.
old enough to have these questions now, like why is there so much tension? Like what's going on?
Okay.
Um, this is and this is the unfortunate effects of apartheid is on one side, on both sides, no one knows what's really happening on the other side.
Yes.
Well, I think especially for me growing up as a white person is that people of color were allowed to come out of the townships into the white areas if they had passports. Is that correct? They needed like passports, or they were controlled that
Yeah,
they
you
could leave
needed a
certain
pass.
areas.
Needed a pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
crazy. So
I
so
don't know if it's everywhere. It was. It was. Yes. Yes, it was. And should definitely check that. But yes, you needed that. And if you didn't have that, you were pretty much in trouble. I think you were
yeah,
even jailed, most likely
jailed.
persecuted.
You would have been questioned, and then you probably would have just been sent back. So
Right.
So I was
Living
brought up in Cape Town, and I might skip back a little bit before that iconic moment of Francois Pienaar receiving
Yep, yep, yep.
the Rugby World Cup trophy. But that day is like it's engraved in my memory because I was playing a tennis tournament
Mm-hmm.
in Pinelands in
Yeah,
Cape Town,
yeah,
and it was the Rugby World Cup final against the All Blacks,
yeah.
and uh, j every single time that we got points on the board, the clubhouse, the tennis clubhouse, erupted like crazy, and the houses nearby, and people were just like screaming. Straight away, all the points just ended. People throwing their rackets. I don't know why. They're like people just running off the court, running into the clubhouse, and I'm like, okay, let me just follow and see what's going on. I wasn't being at that age. I wasn't at all open to um, rugby. I didn't know the rules. I walked in and I see these people and everyone's like hugging each other and oh, this is
First
amazing.
record here.
And uh, and then that happened a few times.
Yeah.
And that was just it was just so funny, especially when they won. It's like I remember the tournament organizers
Yeah.
were like we were kids. Hey? I mean, you must understand, like 10, 11 years old. Get back on the court, get back, and like especially when they won, like they couldn't control like the kids, and I was ready to go back because I was like, okay, well, this is fun. I mean, people are screaming and celebrating, like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, we won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to play tennis. Like I want to get back on the court and
Yeah.
win my match. I want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
um, yeah, just like a little side note, I wasn't very good at that age. Um,
Ah, okay. Okay. You weren't the
and,
pro that you are now.
uh, that came with hard work and practice years down the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Was kind of it was such an edgy year because so much came to my knowledge about where I was living, and I never understood that. I never understood it fully, and that left a huge mark on me that I realized that this place that I call home, I already had an idea graphically, like, okay, South Africa, Cape Town, this place is majority, we are the minority. The majority of the people that live in this country, 80, 90%, are being discriminated on such a scale that stayed with me for years to come. I want to share a story. And there was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
when apartheid ended and Mandela
Yeah.
became president,
Yeah.
all of a sudden all schools were open to all races. Now, at my school, the first non-white person
Yeah.
stepped through to step in the corridors of the primary school that I was at
Yeah.
was a lighter complexion than you
Yeah.
person
Mm.
with a British accent because he was born and raised in England.
Interesting.
And it's like, you're not even South African. So
Yeah.
so obviously when the doors opened up, I was very young. In my mind, I'm thinking now that this family was offered a job by a South African company that says, okay, now we can hire all races of people.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's someone very qualified in
Yes.
England that wants to move to South Africa. I
Mm.
can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this person walked into Tableview Primary School. And I just remember seeing
Wait.
like it was like, wow, you're different. You're not the same as me,
Yeah.
or the same as everyone here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like years later, that was a shocking moment
Okay.
for
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
But I remember like years prior, it was always played on the streets, ring on my friends' doorbells. It was such a privileged life. Like there
Wow,
was
man.
no, yeah, it was a completely different way of living, which I think compared to you, my friend, is it's a completely different world, even though we were in the same country.
Right.
And obviously, even today in 2025, um, we have these issues. They still exist in South Africa.
Hmm?
Um, Middle class is maybe growing from the poorer communities, but these townships are forever expanding, and
Yeah.
they've and is it getting more dangerous? I don't know. I'm not really like watching the news,
Mm.
but but living there and being later, like like when I finished high school,
Yeah.
being a little bit braver,
Yeah.
and venturing into um, places like Khayelitsha,
Yeah.
Jose Klabe.
Yeah.
Um, one very close to where I grew up in Strand was Dunoon. You remember at the end
I
of
know. I know.
Strand,
Yeah.
Globig Main Road, and
Yeah.
you go right to the end, and then you would turn left. Like it's just huge. It's just grown, and
Mm.
um, yeah, it's yeah, it shapes you. It shapes us, huh, as individuals, like who we are today.
Once you start
But
noticing these differences.
yeah. Would you like to go a little bit deeper and maybe explain to the viewers like how was your daily routine? Like so you're 5 years old, Nelson Mandela becomes president, you go to primary school. How did you get to school, for example? Did you have to travel long distances? Was it close by? Did you have to walk?
Hmm.
Did you have to
So as far back as I can remember, I have to try and be as concise as possible um, without talking too long to say one thing. So okay, now in my head. So yes, that reminded me actually of when we moved to Cedarwood near Naturino.
Mm,
Yeah. So when we moved to Cedarwood, that was when I was doing my last year of crèche, probably crèche slash nursery
mm.
school slash what else? Yeah, right. I think that's also uh,
Yeah, so you're a little bit too
known.
young to really understand maybe as well,
Yes, yes. I
family
didn't
dynamics,
understand
what were the
anything.
issues.
My earliest memory where I started to notice a difference, if anything, was in my last year or maybe last 2 years, where okay, I noticed we don't all look the same, but we all speak the same. I think my best friend, good friend at the time, was Indian, first
Oh,
friend.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Otherwise, I know we were all mixed, and when you start being invited to all these birthday parties and so on, so you start to notice the differences, but never an experience where there's some type of segregation, separation in nursery school. However, at home, next door, I remember very good friend of mine who liked to play with me. Maybe he would come and want to play with his dog, but I remember we would play outside. He would ask me to come play with him. I would go and play with him if he's outside. Nothing where you need to say, hey, come tomorrow, come later. Just when he's outside, hey, come
Yeah.
and play. I find him outside and we would play outside, on the yard, on the streets, ball, cricket. He liked cricket
Mm.
as well. I don't know cricket, but I could say he told me, but or maybe we just played as
Played together.
young
Yeah.
kids, 5, 6, 4, 5, yeah,
Wow.
5, 6 years old. And
Yeah.
so once I got to grade one, I noticed a change, or maybe I started to be aware. His mom and aunt or grandmother
Mm.
would literally take him away. When they find him, they come back home and they find him playing with me. Like he would be
Oh,
always
being
outside.
outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing outside.
And
Okay.
I remember this because it happened on several occasions. If it happened once, I probably would not even notice that, that's odd. But after 2, 3 occasions, maybe more, yeah, I remember this being
Okay.
abrupt. Like whenever they came around, whenever one of them was outside, he had to go back inside, and that was it. That was it. The dad
Okay.
was
So when the
okay.
parents were not there, obviously there was no segregation. It was just pure.
Yeah, and I think unofficially or without saying something, they didn't want him to play with me. The dad was okay. The dad would speak to my
Uh,
parents as well when he was outside.
but
There wasn't
but
any walls at the time.
no,
That's
no.
also another thing we should probably speak about later. But that's general safety, I think, because there were no walls. Now I can tell you, right in that street there are walls. It looks so different. But another thing is there were no walls, so you are able to see each other when one is arriving, one is leaving. Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Like the famous Telkom ad, I think. So yes, yes. that
Yeah,
sense of, hey, we're outside, we're playing with each other
that's
when the
interesting.
mom comes.
So even though that there was we were segregated, white communities from non-white communities, within those communities, things were open. It was because I mean, I remember like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like just always being outside. Just playing like taking like chalk and then drawing a tennis court on the road and pretending we're playing tennis and then grabbing like the guys or sometimes even girls join in who go like down the road because I live
Yeah,
very close to the primary school and
yeah,
we just played cricket
yeah,
or we played football in the street or we played touch rugby
yeah.
and it was the same like that's what I'm hearing is like actually with you it was the same is that you just always went outside like that was like the watering hole, huh? Where all the kids met. It's like you just went outside. Like, Mom, I'm going outside.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And they'd be okay with that. They'd be
But
okay
now
with that.
down like when you remember that street, were there any white people in that street that you lived in?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there
I
was very little, very few families of color, people of color who had been living in the neighborhood compared to today. If we had to look at today compared to then, we weren't the first. We definitely weren't the first. Like it's nothing of privilege or anything like that. It was just one of those people who one of the families who were living in that street, in that neighborhood. But some of my friends to this day, who I went to primary school and even high school with, I know also moved in around the same time, just not in the same street and not so
mm.
close by. But it was majority white people. I think,
So okay. So this is the moment that your family decided to move out of the townships.
yeah, because of job
Yes.
opportunity. I
Okay.
don't think it's so much of we want to move out of the township, but being closer to work and then to a school for me and my siblings.
Yes. Yeah,
Right,
sorry,
right.
I didn't let you answer. Did you have to walk there? You take a bicycle
Oh
or you
yeah,
take a
yeah.
bus?
Walked later on, but
Yeah.
fortunately, my dad we had one car at the time, so he'd drop us off. But because of work, he'd have to then leave early. So when he couldn't drop us off, we'd either have somebody pick us up, like get a lift. Otherwise, we walk to
Yeah.
where we pick up the taxi and then take a taxi to school.
Wow.
When it was safe in the afternoon, yeah, we walked later on. In the beginning, my parents didn't let me or my sister walk.
Okay, this was primary school.
This was primary school, yeah.
Yeah.
We moved there a year or two before I started primary school.
Okay.
So that must have been 1 or 2 years after official democracy being democracy, Nelson Mandela becoming president and so on. Because I think it must have been really different before he was officially president.
Okay.
That's my earliest memory. That's my earliest memory. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe for the viewers, they might also be interested a little bit on my upbringing. I clearly have a South African accent. I would say Cape Townian accent. However, maybe quite similar to you, Kat. My parents are of different nationalities. So my parents share the same culture,
Yeah.
having a Polish background.
Yeah.
So always grew up, yeah, eating Polish food, having that aroma around the house.
Yeah.
Um, but I was born in England,
Yeah.
and when I was a few months old,
Yeah.
um, yeah, my mother returned back with me
Yeah.
to Cape Town. Need to actually find out why that happened. I don't know if that was like a real like if it had anything to do with apartheid.
Okay.
Um,
Is one of them South African, one of them British, or one is
so
Polish?
yeah, so my dad is he's Polish. He was born in Poland, and then
Mm.
my mom was born in England,
Okay.
but from a Polish family.
Yes.
And what I know is that that's where like World War II really
Mixed
took
everyone
my
up.
family out of Eastern Europe, and then they just I've got family all over the world.
Right. Right.
So and yeah, they just happened to meet at a certain time in England. They immigrated to South Africa,
Yeah.
and why would they ever go back? you know.
Right.
But I was born in England,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I left when I was a few months old,
Yeah.
and I left South Africa when I was 28 and moved to Germany.
Okay. Okay.
That was 2012. And
Yeah.
if the viewers can remember, yeah, we met somewhere around 2015, 16
Yeah.
in Germany. It would be quite interesting right now just to maybe reveal the answer of the previous episode. But we met at a bus stop in Stadtgrenze in Nuremberg. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's actually in Nuremberg, right?
It's in
Just a little
Nuremberg.
bit of a side note.
It's on the border of Nuremberg, but it's in
And
Nuremberg.
Fürth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuremberg and Fürth,
Uh,
right?
yeah. So just to put that out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it was we always spoke English. I have siblings as well, and we
Okay.
always heard English.
Yeah.
Neither of my parents could
And
speak
can I?
Afrikaans, even though I had to learn the language.
Yeah.
Didn't do very well at school.
With Afrikaans.
No, it was I wasn't good with any language, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
English was just I didn't really enjoy
It
studying
came
English.
naturally.
Just
Okay.
I liked biology and history and geography and
Yeah.
those type of things.
Mhm.
But the secret language around the house was Polish, and I don't know if that was a tactic of my parents. You know, it's
Ah.
always. I think it's good to have a secret language because then the kids don't understand what they're talking about.
Go
Um,
and hide the sweets right now.
yeah. But so that's what I heard like growing up.
Yeah.
So in the house was it felt I would say like Eastern European, and
Hmm.
then when I went to school, yeah, it was like South Africa.
Yeah.
It
Can I
was
ask? Yeah.
yeah.
Like, do you also have this difference differentiating between when people ask you where you're from or
Oof.
relate to you about you being white, you being Afrikaner, you being British, you being do you have that any sense of like, no, I'm English, I'm not Afrikaans speaking, or anything similar to that? Have you experienced that? Like
Yeah,
what
of
you were
course.
saying earlier on about the whole Frankish, Irish, or rather Xhosa, Sotho,
Yeah.
colored black type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
type
yeah.
of um,
I think
yeah,
yeah, 15 years ago, I would say yeah, I'm South African. You know, the I think I was just fortunate to be born in England
yeah,
because at the time, you know, I was a European citizen.
yeah,
You know how times have changed.
yes,
But now that I've spent so many years apart, and I mean, I just recently went back to South Africa
yeah,
properly for a good holiday for the first time in like 10 years.
yeah.
And I can't
Felt
relate.
good.
And it was great. I mean, but so different. I just can't relate
So
to,
different. Yeah.
you know, like you were saying about with time or now when you go back to the street where you grew up, you know, everyone has these high walls and
Oh yeah.
it's crazy. And it's not just high walls. There's electric fencing and then
Yeah.
there's cameras
Yeah.
and you hear the dog behind the wall barking and you're
Yeah.
like, wow, this is, you know, a prison in paradise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of weird thing because when you're out and I wanted to walk a lot, you know, I wanted to be on the streets walking and sometimes like it's really funny maybe because I'm just so European now,
Yeah.
but I think we're like a kilometer away
Yeah.
from shopping centers. So we have like
Yeah.
the American style shopping centers where you have restaurants and you know clothing shops and you can go grocery shopping
Right. Right.
and I wanted to walk, and they're like, "Oh, but you're gonna take forever, Michael." I'm like, "But it's like a kilometer. Like, why
Yeah.
don't we just walk?" You know. So I
Yeah.
decided, you know, and actually it kind of worked out because when we were going to go to the restaurant and eat something there in Cape Town, and there wasn't a space for me, and I thought, you know what, perfect. I'm gonna take a walk, and it's just so nice to like to walk past people to
Yeah.
greet them
Yeah.
you know, when the right cultural person walks past, and you
Yeah.
know, Molo and Johnny, and then wow,
Yeah.
you see the glow in people's eyes. Yeah,
Utini.
it was like obviously it's amazing, but so many changes, so
Yeah.
many like just every single place now.
Yeah.
Every single place has these huge walls, electric fencing. But when you go on the beach, everyone's so nice, and you walk on the street and everyone's so nice, and you go through the shopping center and everyone's smiling, and it's like, yeah. So maybe in that regard, like things haven't changed.
Okay. Yeah.
It's nice to reminisce about this and
Yeah, it is.
to think back and
It is, eh?
maybe just to touch
Yeah.
on before we met,
Hmm.
we were a few years before we met, we were living in the same place in Strand. That's
Yes.
in Cape Town.
Yeah. So
Now,
profound how we, we actually were living in the same space, in the same place for some time.
for some time, exactly,
Yeah.
and then we ended up obviously meeting in Nuremberg. How did you get to Cape Town? Because Johannesburg is 1,500 kilometers away.
I
It's
think so.
very different culturally as well. You know, you talk about the Xhosa people.
Yeah.
That's predominantly in Cape Town.
And it
Is that the
sounds so
language?
different.
It's
Xhosa and Afrikaans
isiXhosa.
sounds so different in Cape Town.
Oh, yeah, of course. Um, and did you feel like maybe more at home, like considering that your mother was Xhosa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or is she is Xhosa? Yeah.
She is, yeah. Yes and no. Yes, in terms of my new home,
Mhm.
the new, my own type, building my own home lifestyle, the relationships I was forming there.
Ah,
No, it did not feel anything like home where I was coming from. Felt like I'm in a new place, a new country. It definitely has
wow.
a European feel. I must say, Cape Town feel
Mhm.
it feels very European. And maybe that's within the city. Maybe that's one part of Western Cape as a whole. But yeah, no, I would say Cape Town definitely is different than Johannesburg. It has a European feel. Johannesburg doesn't have a European feel or atmosphere. Um, so that's why I say yes and no. No, because I definitely did miss Johannesburg, and
Mm.
I definitely noticed a difference in the style. And ironically, I
Mhm.
was always told I'm laid back. Cape
Yeah.
Town is laid back, so we sort of, that falls under yes. However, Johannesburg is like so boom, 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 and I'm coming from the and I kind of miss that, but I'm not like that or wasn't. I don't know. So
Ah,
I guess there was, things you miss and like just familiarity and so on. But then I got used to it, and to this day, I regard it as my second home. Yeah, yeah,
wow. Okay, because that's interesting. You still live in Germany.
yeah, yeah,
Guessing that would be your first home? Is that the home for you?
yeah. I want to say it's my third. It's my second. It's my.
Okay, okay.
It's
We're
my
going in
second
order.
home.
So we're going in order. Johannesburg, Cape Town, Nuremberg.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I guess that's fair. That's fair.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I spent a good decade in Germany, and oh, I mean, it's yeah, living there so long, learning the language, becoming a citizen of the country.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
It was good timing, man, because when the Brits pulled out, I was like, "Phew, I want to stay here longer." I need that European passport.
Yeah. 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 You see,
So,
and those things also come with the differences and the yeah. I think it's different. For instance, what I'm trying to touch on. I remember we were planning to go visit friends in UK. Think I don't know if I mentioned before the passport and visa situation. The process it's much longer and much harder and much more expensive. I think the cost is probably the same all around. But for me as a South African,
yeah,
um, even being here this long, than it was for my wife and child for them, they just needed to like register or apply to go travel there. But I needed to apply. I needed to go through ABNC, and then in ABNC, there's also waiting plus getting confirmation. Once you get confirmation, you need to pay for this, meet somebody who's going to interview, then you go and actually apply for a visa. So all of that, it forces one to, like, if I have citizenship here, I won't have to go through that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and
of course.
then, we can touch on the whole citizenship thing now. I think now we can have dual citizenship, but the differences with how we grew up and the things that we were able to do, not able to do, things that were easier and not easier to do. It's not necessarily privilege, but it's just, I guess it depends on what it is. In certain instances, it is a privilege. In certain instances, it's just like, you have to take an extra step, the hurdles that we had. To be able to do something like a exchange program, to be able to do something like studying abroad and so on, right? Yeah. So yeah.
It feels like we're moving in the direction of talking about the culture clash.
True.
And that's going to be in the next episode.
Right.
And I'm quite excited about that because it's
a lot.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle, and I felt like there was a lot of growth that came out of it. Discovering a new place. You feel like it's like the honeymoon phase. Everything's great, and I don't need to understand everyone. But then you're like, whoa, sheesh. At some point, I want to almost fit in, or I want to understand what the people are talking about. But that's something that we can definitely delve in the next episode.
Yeah.
Kat, I think this is a great start. Let's see what the viewers write in the comment section as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We want to get out there. We want to share our story, and we'll look at your comments as well and answer any questions, appropriate questions, to our best ability. From my side, I'm very grateful for this moment. Kat was
from my side too. Thank you very much, Mike.
It was great to dive in deeper. I'm sure this is going to come up again. Whatever we're going to talk about later in the future episodes. So from my side, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, everyone out there. Dankeschön. Dankjewel.
Dankeschön. Thank you very much. Ralebuha. Siyabulela. Siyabonga. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Bye for
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys.